We're live
That's right.
now. We're officially live. It'll show up.
Okay.
Okay. That was dumb. There we go. We're up. We're live.
Yes,
How's
we
it
are.
going? How's it going, Nick fans? How we doing? First podcast. Zach, you got anything to say? What's up?
What's up? We're Knicks4Clicks,
Yes,
New
sir.
York sports podcast. We're a
100%.
little late. We were wanting to do this for a while, but now we're here. We're
100%.
ready to talk some Knicks. We
We
got
are.
season in a couple, like 3 weeks? We're
Not
ready.
even. Well, yeah, season in
Got a
three
lot of catch
weeks.
up. We got NBA draft, free agency,
Preseason.
predictions. Let's do it.
100%. All right, so let me put up our agenda, okay? So today, let's start off with the NBA draft. All right, Zach, how you feeling about the Obi pick?
I'm very happy. I
You
think we
happy about it?
got the best option we got, eighth pick. I think he fell a lot.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
very happy he fell.
big time. I know me and
High
Zach were
flyer.
watching. We were watching the draft. We got all hyped up. Thank you, Evan. I see it's up. I appreciate that. But yeah, we got all hyped up when we drafted Obi. He was definitely the best available player on the board, in our opinion. Obviously, the Knicks need a point guard. A Tyrese Halliburton would have been nice, but Obi was the best player on the board. He fell from probably 5 to 8, so we didn't have to trade up for him. We do have a serviceable point guard in Elfrid Payton, but we'll get into that later. We'll talk
Yeah, we'll talk
about
about that later.
him a little bit later. But Obi definitely has some upside. He's a very good pick and roll player. I'll say that much. He's going to be great with Elfrid, RJ Barrett. That duo is going to be nice.
You know,
I got his highlights up on the screen now. He's a serviceable shooter. I'd say he can probably be a average to a little bit below average shooter in the NBA. But if he works on his shot, that's going to be good. I tell you that much.
yeah.
Um,
I think that would take his offense to the level. You can argue he's the high flyer, best dunker in the country out of the draft, 100%.
yep,
And if he can get the shot, I think he's unstoppable on offense.
100%.
6'9", power forward. Defense was pretty good. He averaged, I think, a dunk and a steal and a block a game. So that's serviceable. And you can only get better than that. You can't really get worse unless he just struggles in the NBA, but I don't think that'll happen. I think he'll be a great player for this team.
I know
A great piece for the future.
people were talking about his defense and how there is some issues. He needs to learn better how to guard positions 1 through 5. Not that I expect him to, but even though his averages may have said that he averaged like a steal and a block a game, realistically, he's got to stay in front of his opponent. That's one of the flaws in his game. He acknowledged that on media day. He said
Yeah.
that he needs to work on his defense, and I respect that. It's something we need on the Knicks. We need accountability because we can't
Yeah.
have these players going around saying they're doing
really
just
do.
fine when they're clearly just trash. I mean, a lot of these guys, like we heard RJ Barrett at media day, he said he was not pleased with not making the rookie team, and I know a lot. This is a very stereotypical thing for players to say, but I know for a fact that he wants to prove those haters wrong next year.
Yeah.
Now, will he do it? I'm not sure. Kevin Knox said
Hey.
something very similar after his rookie year, and we see what happened to Kevin Knox. But RJ Barrett, higher pick. I think he's got more room to grow. Need to work on that efficiency though. But I'm going off topic. Let's get back on to Obi, right?
Yeah.
You have anything to add about his offensive game and how that can help the Knicks? Or
I think we kind of said it. I think it's just dunking's amazing. He'll be able to be like a better option. Finally get Randall out of New York, hopefully soon, after this year maybe, mid-year.
100%.
Just think he'll be able to take that power forward role and be the high flyer of the Knicks. Be the highlight reel. We need one.
100%.
You want to go to Manuel quickly.
Well, let's get into Miles Powell. We'll save
Oh, okay.
Emmanuel quickly for last because he's the most
Okay.
interesting prospect to me out
You're
of these
right.
three dudes. So, Miles Powell, right? I'm going to go out on a limb, okay, and say that Miles Powell, in my opinion, he reminds me of a Damian Lillard type of player. Now, will he be that? Not necessarily. But his
No.
play style definitely reminds me of Lillard. He's got a long three-point shot. He likes to shoot from far out from the logo. He's not
Yeah.
the tallest dude in the world, but I will say he needs to work on his passing a little bit. I mean, the highlights you see from him usually are
Hmm.
just scoring highlights. We need to see
Shooting,
we need to
driving.
see more of that passing, man. I know his defense is serviceable for his size, right?
Uh-huh.
But 100% needs to work on the passing. If we got someone like Mitch on the team, we got someone like Obi on the team, we got to be throwing lobs out there. We can't just
Very
be
true.
taking it to the rack. And
Guys like Payne to facilitate.
I'll bring it
Can
back on the
facilitate.
highlight reel a little bit. You can see he is a high flyer. That man can block shots. The real question is, though,
Really.
will he be able to act on that at the professional level, or is he just going to be another scoring guard? Because I'm not going to lie, we've seen players like Markelle Fultz in the past. He was a scoring guard. He was compared to James Harden, right?
Yeah.
And clearly, I mean, very different situation with a undrafted guy who we signed, but scoring in the college level doesn't always translate. You know, we've seen that before.
Yeah. He looks very good. I just don't want him to turn into like an Alonzo career where he just doesn't get minutes and then just falls off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll get, if he plays like this, he should get minutes and he should perform. If he can facilitate, he could be a piece of this future. Well, a little early for that.
Yeah, I know. But we got to attribute a lot of that to Tom Thibodeau. Will he give the young guys minutes?
Yeah.
That's the real question. Or is Tom Thibodeau, is he going to go out and is he going to say, okay, Michael Kidd Gilchrist, you play the starting position. You too, Randall. Like, is he going to play the veterans like what he typically does?
He might
Or
sparkle
is
in
he-
some veteran time.
I mean,
With the main three, hopefully some minutes.
I've seen some stuff. I don't know. I mean, he's got job security. It's Tom Thibodeau. That's one of those. He's an official coach. I mean, we had David Fitzdale in the past. We had Mike Miller. Those two guys, they're not really proven coaches. I mean, David Fitzdale in his time in Memphis, he wasn't obviously a terrible coach, but he had talent on that team. He had
Really
Marc
did.
Gasol. He had Mike Conley. Those are some legit dudes. Zach Randolph, I think, was on that team when he was coaching, when they were in the playoffs.
Yeah, when he was, before he just
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah, old age got to
Yeah.
got to Zach, but you know, I'll definitely say for a fact that Tom Thibodeau has job security with this Knicks team, right?
I think
We
he's
gave
got,
him a
yeah.
deal. We know what to expect from this team, especially last year. That the season last year was horrible. We played terrible. No floor spacing, which we'll talk about the floor spacing with the picks we've taken, and that really comes on to Emmanuel quickly, right?
Yeah.
But Miles Powell, he's definitely a shooter. I'll tell you that much. He shoots high volumes, though, I thought. You know, he shoots a lot of shots. So we got to look more into the percentages of his makes. Because obviously, you look at the highlights, you'll see the best stuff, but you don't see his flaws, right?
That's how highlights work.
Right. So it's always good to take a look at lowlights once in a while, see what he's bad at, so that, see what he can work on. But I think he'll be actually an interesting part of the Knicks' future if the point guard situation isn't figured out this season. I think we should definitely test him there.
Yeah, I hope he gets minutes. They got Payne, they got Rivers, Ntilikina. They got a lot of guys in front, so hopefully they can sprinkle in some minutes for him, and we'll see how he can perform.
Yes, sir. Let's just hop on to Emmanuel quickly, and if we need to check back with any of these dudes, we will.
Yeah,
Emmanuel quickly. So to me, Zach, I know really like
I
this
think
pick. I'll let you get into
I'm
this
very
first.
excited. So I'm a Kentucky fan. I'm very excited. I've watched him a lot. I know a lot about him. Very excited that we drafted him. We moved up, or we didn't move up. We traded, and
Yep.
we took his pick. Very excited that we drafted him. He reminds me of Tyler Hero. Great free throw shooter, great three-point shooter. He's in his second year, so he didn't get minutes in freshman year, but got his minutes started second year. Reminds me completely of Tyler Hero. Great shooter, can shoot the free throw. He can drive, he can create his own shot. I think that's a perfect comparison.
Yeah, he's a tough
We'll-
kid.
we're gonna
I
see
like
Tyler
it.
Hero in him.
I definitely like that comparison. I think it's really uncommon to compare players that are this young to players that are this young. I mean,
Yeah.
Tyler Hero is literally almost what is he, the same age as this dude? Pretty much. He's younger.
Pretty much.
He's almost
I think-
younger than this dude because he
No, I think they're the same age. They both
Same
were
age.
freshmen last year.
right. So, I mean, that's pretty interesting. I'll say that much. But what is he, a 90% free throw shooter or something like that?
I think he's higher. I think he's 92. I could be
Sheesh.
wrong.
No,
Something
but
in the
it's
90s.
somewhere in that range. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you, the Knicks were the worst, by a mile, worst free throw shooting team in the league last year. RJ shot terribly from the line. We already know DSJ. He can get to the line if he's actually playing. But he can't
Oh,
make the free
another
throws.
point guard. Yeah.
Yeah. We got Rivers, DSJ, Frank, but we'll talk about that later. We got a lot of dudes in our rotation. We got to talk about all that. But I'll definitely say Emmanuel Quickley is the shooting that we need on this team, and I think that Tyler Hero comparison is almost spot on. That is if he lives up to the hype and he performs at the NBA level, which shooters in modern day NBA do. So
Yeah.
we've seen.
I think he was just a year behind Tyler Hero,
Okay,
and I think now he's there.
that's reasonable. And Kentucky had a good. I mean, I'm not really a Kentucky fan nearly as much as you are, but did Kentucky have a great year last year, or what was?
We had a good year. COVID shut down, so we didn't get to see the SEC tournament, March Madness, but we had a decent season for Kentucky.
Right.
Had a lot of young guys. You know, I was excited for March Madness, but it's okay. But
Yeah.
I'm very excited that we got Emmanuel quickly.
It happens,
Yeah.
But I definitely think that, like you said, Tyler Hero, serviceable comparison. I think he's got a lot of upside. I don't think there's a lot of downside to him, which is a great reason to want this dude on the team. But I saw some workouts, and I don't have them pulled up, but I saw some workouts, and I'll tell you this much: this kid is legit. He was practicing at that New York facility. It wasn't the Knicks training facility. It was do you know what that's called?
What's his
Mello
name?
practices there a lot. Obi was there, but I'll tell you,
Chris Brickley,
Chris Brickley, right? He was working
He's the
out with
trainer.
Chris Brickley, and
New York trainer.
that dude does not miss. I swear. I mean, it was
He's got a great jump shot.
100%. You got anything more to add about him, or what's the situation with that? Because I don't know too much about him yet. We got to just
Yeah.
wait and see for
I
ourselves.
think we just got to, hopefully he gets minutes again. I feel like they have a lot of depth, but it's not like these are like star players. They're just like serviceable guys. So
Right.
hopefully they'll give the young guys minutes like him, and he'll just do this. Like I think the sky's the limit. He's really good. I think he could be a Tyler Hero effect, like playoff Tyler Hero effect. So I just hope he gets minutes.
I respect that. Yeah, I hope he is. We need that in New York. I like the grit and
I hope
grind
so.
players too. So we'll see what happens with
so.
that. Now, moving on. All right, Westbrook. Okay, this is not
Okay.
really Knicks related, but
We
him
gotta
on the
talk about it.
Wizards. What are we thinking about this, Zach? What do you think?
I think both teams, this was a great trade for Wizards, great trade for the Rockets. Rockets trying to keep Harden. Harden wanted out. They bring in a guy that Harden, I think, will be very pleased with. Passes.
Mhm.
Now they got Boogie, Kentucky again, both Kentucky teammates in 2011. So those two are happy. Wall Cousins very happy to be together, and I think he'll fit in perfect with Harden. I think he'll please Harden. I don't think Harden's going to want out anymore. I think he'll be happy with this team this year. And the Wizards, they got a better point guard, healthier now. You don't even know what you're going to get with Wizards or with Wall. Achilles, and then what do you have? Like a toe surgery or heel surgery?
Yeah.
Something before the Achilles. But I think they're going to get a better player. They're going to pay Westbrook less. I think Westbrook is the better player, and they're going to pay him less. So I think this trade worked out perfectly for both teams.
Now, I think I'm going to have to agree to disagree. I think the trade idea was really great for both teams, but I think the real question is John Wall going to be the same dude? I mean,
That's
we've
true.
seen him in the practices, we've seen him in the runs, gym runs, but we see a lot of players that perform very well in gym runs. Players even like Kevin Knox play well in gym runs, and then we see him in the actual league, and he's just not that.
That's true.
The real question is, will he live up to the contract? I think that for both players at this point, it's impossible to live up to their
It's
contract.
impossible. It's impossible.
But as long as you can get kind of close to it. It was a really unfortunate situation with the Achilles tear with John Wall. That's something you wish upon
That was
nobody.
just ridiculous. That was a freak accident.
Absolutely horrible. I think he like fell down his stairs or something.
Yup, he fell down the stairs recovering.
And it really set him back. He hasn't played in like 2 years, something like that.
Which is a benefit. They're not rushing him back. He's had
Right.
18 months to recover.
100%.
So I think he will. We'll see. I think he'll have a full recovery, and I think he'll still be a very, very good player in the NBA,
I agree.
as he was.
Now, my agree to disagree part also
Mm-hmm.
extends to Harden.
Okay.
Will Harden want to stay on the team? I'm not sure. I don't know. Because if you all you added was Boogie, you traded
Mm-hmm.
Rocco for what I thought they were rebuilding, but then they traded for John Wall. I'm kind of having a hard time understanding that move. But you trade Rocco, You trade Westbrook for John Wall's big contract, which, by the way, same money, almost the same years, I'm pretty sure. But I'll tell you for a fact that I'm hoping that John Wall can be a 15-10 guy for the first half of the season. I don't think he's going to be this superstar that he used to be. I'm not even sure if he'll be as athletic as he was.
He might not be.
I'm not sure if a 15-10 point guard, maybe that's at least. So I'll just say, I'll be generous. 20-10 point guard, 20-8 point guard like John Wall, and honestly, I don't know how DeMarcus Cousins is going to do after the ACL and Achilles tear.
Yeah.
So I'm honestly just going to say a 15-7 guy in Boogie. That's respectable numbers if he can get to that.
That's fair. Depending on his minutes, that's fair. And on his injury.
And you traded your best defender in Robert Covington. So I really don't know if that's going to be enough for Harden. I think he wants to win a championship. He's already got his MVP. I think he wants to go to the Nets, and I think that'll age well. I think that the Nets will probably make a package of however many first-round picks it takes, however many players it takes, and they'll get James Harden. Just the idea of having those three superstars. It's like with the Warriors. We had to worry about Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. Will that mend? Because they're such ball-dominant players, and they both love to shoot.
True.
That worked out. They won like 3 championships.
Yeah, but now we're adding Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and Harden. I don't know if that'll mesh well. I don't know.
We'll see what happens. I respect whatever moves the Rockets take, but at this point, if you've already traded for John Wall and signed Boogie, you may as well just try and go all the way with Harden and see how it works out, honestly.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to trade him this season.
I think it's going to be
they might,
at least until next offseason. Then they'll consider trading him. But that is if the Nets have great success with Kyrie and KD, then Harden's here to stay. I don't think anyone else is going to want to trade for a 32, 33-year-old disgruntled superstar.
For that much, they want massive.
He will be past his prime by the time he's traded. So are people going to trade 3-4 first-round picks for a dude like that?
And a lot of key assets. I would think they want that.
I'm not gonna lie, that is a Knicks move. But I think we're taking a turn for the better here. I don't think that'll happen.
No, I don't think. I think we're staying young and we're not gonna make a big blockbuster trade like that.
100%.
I don't even think we have the assets unless we're gonna ship all these key guys out.
Ship Mitch, RJ, picks. There's no point. Just let him stay in Houston.
Yeah, just send all the young core too with the picks.
I don't know about that one.
No, that's not him.
No.
He wouldn't even. Does he have a no trade? I don't remember. He has a no trade.
Yeah, but he'll waive it. He'll waive it.
He ain't coming to the Knicks. Not for the Knicks.
Anyway.
He wants to win.
Let's move on to free agency.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I will say is I think Austin Rivers was an absolute steal. I think that was an amazing pickup. Right?
3 years, 10 mil.
We're talking about a guy who can give you, if he's starting, I think 10 to 11 points a game, maybe more. 8 assists if you're lucky. He had a big 40-point game in the bubble, and we know that 40 points when you have James Harden and Russell Westbrook as teammates, that's a big deal, because those are both ball-dominant guys who demand the ball. I wonder how he'll play in New York when he does have the ball, because he is, unfortunately, one of our best players right now. not to hate on Austin, but
let's see. I guess right now, until these guys developed, he kind of is, which is really sad, but. Yeah.
But, I think that Austin Rivers signing, I think that was a big deal. Nerlens Noel, very good pickup. I think he'll back up Mitch, or he'll start, depending on what Thibodeau does. But I think he'll back up Mitch really nicely. He'll be a great complementary piece to this team. He basically provides exactly what Mitch does. Defense, little offense, rebounding. That's all you need from the guy. We're not asking for a lot. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, bench piece.
Just not even talk about that.
He's a serviceable defender. He's got a whacked out jump shot, I'm pretty sure. It's like a.
I don't even know how to imitate it. It's that's sideways.
Perfect. Like if you look at the string, that's pretty perfect. I don't know. It's weird.
It's really bad.
Anyway,
you won't be Sheen. Hopefully not.
Who else did we sign this offseason? I mean, we got Theo Pinson on the roster. Alfred Payton, we re-signed him.
We got Nerlens Noel, Kentucky again. We just getting all the Kentucky.
100%. And now let's just, if we're talking about free agency, let's just talk Randall trade, right? We both don't need him or want him.
Don't need him whatsoever. If you want to make RJ Barrett the number one. If you're like, okay, this is our guy, needs to be the primary dude when it comes to scoring, you can't have Randall on the team because he thinks he's the primary scorer right now.
He's definitely not. I'll tell you that.
He's
much.
not the primary.
Shouldn't
If
be.
your future is built around young guys, get Randall out.
Yeah.
Just he's useless. You want Obi Toppin minutes, get Randall out. Or if you think, but he's like Randall's too young and he's been starting, so you can't just bench Randall. You just gotta trade him.
I
And
think
hopefully they get
that
something
kind
for
of
him.
leads to another question, right?
Mhm.
Kenny Payne, right?
Mhm.
He's the new assistant coach. He's one of those. He was part of the Kentucky staff at one point,
He's an
correct?
assistant coach for Kentucky. Yes.
Right. So here's the issue. We sign all these Kentucky guys. We got Tom Thibodeau as the coach who likes to play veteran players who have proved to themselves, as in they put up kind of empty numbers if we're talking about Julius, right? The defense could be better. Me and Zach went to a Knicks game last year, and I'll tell you, he hit some nice shots, okay? He hit that three-pointer versus the Miami. We got lucky. We went to the Miami Heat
I
game.
do remember that.
But I'll tell you, the other games, oh my God. I watched
can't
the other games. For one, he can't shoot. He can't space the floor, right? Two, he turns over the ball pretty much every possession. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's bad.
Can we get some turnover numbers?
Oh,
It's gotta
yeah,
be
sure.
over. It's gotta be over 2.
Let's pull up our
Okay.
Julius Randle turnovers per game, right?
Yeah,
What
we gotta see
basketball reference? So Julius Randle, he averages 19.5 points a game, about 10 rebounds a game, 3 assists. Now that looks like a very ideal player right there, right? But then you look into the percentages. He shot 27.7% three-pointers. All right, that's not what we want. Not on this team. Not with R.J. Barrett, especially because we know R.J. Barrett really can't shoot. Okay,
Yeah.
DSJ really can't shoot. Elfrid Payton can't shoot. Can't even make mid-ranges. I mean, Mitch clearly has not proven himself. He's doing all this trash talking on TikTok about how he can finally shoot threes, but his release looks broke. We got a lot of developing to do.
I know. That's why we can't have this dude.
Yeah, 73% from the free throw line. He was just our second option in that 2019 free agency. It's simple.
It really was.
We didn't even want him. We wanted
Everybody
KD
was
and
pissed
Kyrie.
off. We didn't get KD. We didn't get Kyrie.
And then we signed
Here
this
you go,
dude.
Julius Randle.
$63 million for 3 years. Team option on the last year. So the most time we have him is until the end of the season. That is if we decline his player option, which
We'll see
I
how the
wouldn't
season
bank on
goes.
it, but I'm
We'll
not
see.
sure. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Obviously, I really don't have any free agency aspirations for next year because until we prove we're a good team, we're not getting anybody. Right? No one wants to come.
Nobody
to
wants to come
Knicks.
to the freaking
Can't even
Knicks.
blame them. Can't even blame them. It's not their fault. It's the Knicks' fault. James Dolan's fault. But it was one of his worst years in a long time. Let's see. He averaged this year 3 turnovers a game,
Yeah.
3 personal fouls a game. His efficiency. Let's look into his 3-point shooting over his career. So his 3-point shooting this season was not the worst, but not even close to the best. When he was in New Orleans last year, he shot like 35% from 3, 34-4, something like that, which is actually decent. I'll give him that for a power forward in the NBA. But this year he dropped to 27-7. I mean, come on, Julius. We need you to play better. But back onto someone like Austin Rivers. He can shoot, right? Drives to the basket. He can shoot. He can pass. It's really all you ask for in a point guard. The defense is a little lackluster. But
That's okay.
yeah, not
He's
terrible.
not going to get a ton of minutes. Unless he does. Unless he finds a way to start. He has a good season. But we just need a solid bench piece,
100%.
depending on who we start.
That kind of translates into our next point here, right? We
Mm-hmm.
got to talk about who our starting point guard is going to be next year.
Yeah, we got a lot. We got how many guys? 4 that we
Yeah.
were saying before. We got
Got 4.
Payne. We got him. Rivers.
Yep.
DSJ if he wants to come alive again.
Frank.
Um,
And quickly, so
Frank
5.
quickly's a guard, but he did come out of high school as a point guard.
We'll see what he plays.
At college, he didn't play point guard, but he can play point guard.
He's kind of
like
undersized,
5
too.
dudes.
He's 6'3", about?
Is he?
6'3", something like
How
that.
tall is he?
He's not the tallest dude in the world, I'll tell you that much.
No, he's not that tall. The guard.
But he's not small.
He's 6'3". You're right.
6'3". But I will say, He'd be a serviceable point guard for us if no one else is out there. I mean, we know Frank gets hurt pretty much all the time, right?
Yeah.
So we can't trust Frank to stay on the floor for an extended amount of time, that is, until he proves himself. DSJ was probably the worst player in the entire league last year. But I will say he had some personal issues on and off the court. I know that. Yeah. No, not on the court, but off the court.
Off the court.
He had personal issues.
And then he never got minutes again.
He didn't get his minutes back, and when he did get minutes, he was not too good. He was not shooting efficiently. He was turning the ball over. He didn't look good at all. He didn't even look in shape. So I think a big part of this season is DSJ even going to come in shape? Will he? I think that's a legitimate question. I'm not sure if he will or not.
He had a lot of time. A lot of time.
He did. And
so if he blows it,
that Porzingis trade, looking back at it, is not going to be too hot. I'll tell you that much, because he has got to prove himself this year.
Yeah, he's got a ton to prove. Compared, what did we get for that trade? We got Dennis Smith. Was Zach Randolph a part of it? Who cares?
No, it was
he wasn't?
DeAndre Jordan.
He was part of some trade.
DeAndre Jordan, we got 2 first-round picks, I think. We got 2 of those Mavs picks, which may end up being decent, at least. Even if they're not lottery, I don't think they'll be 30s. I think they'll be in either the early 20s or the low teens, or high teens, I mean. Because Porzingis is going to be out until about March or February, I heard.
Wow, yeah.
He's maybe January if he's lucky, but I'm really not seeing a lot with him. Porzingis lately. He's been getting hurt a lot. He's having another surgery on his knee. So maybe we made the right decision by trading him.
I think we definitely made the right decision.
He kind of reminds me.
Got hurt way too much.
Yeah.
And he's so young, getting this many injuries. Just goodbye. You're 7'3". You can't stay healthy because of your size.
Yeah.
You're not worth $155 million. I think he got a max contract, something crazy. You're not worth that.
A lot of
money. Hurt too much. So I'm happy they got rid of him. I think he was worth a lot of value. So I think it's tough what we got, but
I think we should have.
I'm just happy we got rid of him.
I know they didn't want to make the trade, but I think if anything, a De'Aaron Fox type of value would have been great. We would have had our point guard by this point, you know.
I could be wrong, but I thought with the Nets, the Nets wanted to trade D'Lo.
I heard about that. I did. Yeah.
That would have been great, but
it would have been. But we made the worst trade possible.
We made the worst trade possible, but we got rid of him. So that's all. I'm just happy about that. I think we did it way too fast. We did it the day of he requested a trade, but I'm just happy we got rid of him.
We forced it too much.
We definitely forced it. I think RJ will start as shooting guard. I don't know what they're going to do about small forward. Do you have any ideas? No
That's
idea.
A question, because that kind of gets into the ideas. If you really want to start Obi, are you
throwing it up at the 3?
Are you thinking about it? That's the thing. Can he defend the LeBron Jameses of the world, the Kevin Durant's of the world?
Could he? Can he shoot enough to be a 3?
Maybe. He's got to really prove his worth in the practices, though.
Yeah.
Because you know Tom Thibodeau, he's a practice-oriented coach. He'll be like, okay, if Nerlens Noel is out playing Mitchell Robinson in practice, Nerlens Noel is starting.
That makes sense.
It's simple.
I believe that.
It's fair.
I think it's very fair. I think that's how it works.
He didn't have a lot of nice things to say about Mitch. I know at the media day, I listened to Tom Thibodeau's interview, and he kind of went into the discussion about, is Mitchell Robinson going to be a key piece of this team? And clearly he is. But Tom Thibodeau, I remember he said he's got a lot of personality stuff to work on, right? So I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But is that supposed to mean maybe he's got kind of that like Porzingis issue where he thinks he's the you know what, and he's not? I don't know.
I think he's got a very long time until he can even think about that. I hope he doesn't believe in himself, because Porzingis was averaging like 24, 22 at that time.
Yeah.
Mitch is not even averaging over 10.
He's got
Or is he? Does he have 10?
Nope. Probably like 9 or 8. He really has to. I mean, his field goal percentage was phenomenal, but I'd rather him shoot higher volumes.
Yeah.
I want Mitch to be shooting 10 shots a game, honestly, more. Maybe, I don't know. But he also has to extend his range out to the three-point line, because I know he's been practicing on it. But you see players like Ben Simmons, right? They're legit dudes, but they're missing that one aspect. They're missing the shooting. So that's something he really needs to work on. And if that doesn't change, we're going to have a lot of floor spacing issues because we know Randall can't shoot. We know Obi is like a serviceable shooter, but that's exactly what we said about Randall last year. And look what happened to him.
Yeah.
Peyton can't shoot. RJ potentially can't shoot. I don't really think he can that much anyway. So we're gonna have we're gonna play like it's like an '80s team. You put this team in the
shooter
80s.
in there.
You put this team in the
That's
'80s,
cool.
we'll be legit. But we're not in the '80s anymore.
We're not in the 80s.
2020.
This is a shooting
We gotta shoot.
era. We need to shoot.
That's why we did not trading for Westbrook was a good decision in my opinion. I think he would have just set us back. I honestly don't believe that he would have been the right point guard for this team, especially based on his shooting percentages last year and the playoffs. Oh, that was bad.
Yeah.
Him and Bradley Beal,
like-
I don't think they'll mesh either. I think he was the best available point guard on the market if you're talking about John Wall trades.
Mhm.
But I don't think it's gonna work. I mean, we saw.
It'll be interesting.
We're talking about.
You're right. I
If,
don't see it.
if we're going back to the Westbrook trade, okay,
Mhm.
we're talking about the two of the best shooting guards in the NBA, James Harden and Bradley Beal. Both offensive-oriented, ball-dominant players, okay? Although Bradley Beal's a little bit better at playing off the ball than James Harden is.
Mhm.
They both
He's
averaged,
always been off the ball though with
Right.
Wall. So
But-
this was really his first year by himself.
and he averaged 30 points a game.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe
exactly.
he is better. Yeah.
I mean, it's questions to have been asked. Honestly, you gotta ask questions. Are they gonna mesh?
But the thing is Bradley Beal gonna? I think he'll be more than happy to let those numbers drop, just try and win. I think this is a playoff team with Westbrook, is how good Westbrook is.
Yeah.
So I think he'll still be happy. They'll figure it out. So
That's
they might
true.
not mesh as like that. Beal might not play as good as last year because he has an all-star point guard with him, but I think they'll mesh well enough.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I will say they definitely have some chemistry work to do. It's not going to be an instant click.
Oh, of course.
But I'll say that much. The Wizards, they aren't really our problem. The Knicks are our problem. So
Big problem.
let's get into the minutes in the roster, okay? I know we just briefly touched upon that, okay?
Yeah.
Where we think maybe Obi starts at the 3. But if we're talking about Tom Thibodeau, realistic starting
I don't
5,
think he will.
what does that look like? Let's
Okay.
talk about the New York Knicks, okay?
Okay.
New
wanna start with
York
point guard?
Knicks roster right now. Okay, let's take a quick look at the NBA.com, okay?
Mhm.
Let's assess who we think are going to be on the working roster next year.
So I think we got to watch some preseason. We'll see how they play. I think the point guard is wide open. Point guard position for starters wide open.
100%.
I think it'll completely be off of how they perform in practice, how they perform in these preseason games. So preseason might be fun to watch because they're going to be battling for those spots on the roster or as the starters and their minutes. So
Very good point.
usually preseason's like, who cares? But this year it might be interesting. You might see guys, everybody's just serviceable. So that's the young core. So they're going to try and fight for some minutes.
I
So
agree.
I think that it'll be between Rivers and Payne for starting point guard.
I think you
think
bring up
that's
a
what makes
good
more
point
sense.
there. Now,
Be good passers.
what I've done is I've pulled up a notepad, okay?
Mhm.
And let's talk, okay? Where do we think our point guard, right? Obviously, we have a lot of preseason to watch and practices. Unfortunately, they're not really doing much for the training camps this year, like when it comes to media because of COVID. So we can't really see how everyone's doing in the training camps. But I'd say off the rip, okay, I think it'll go something like this, okay? I think Frank has a very good shot at being our starting point guard next year if he has proved that he can shoot.
Okay.
Because I know
And we'll see that.
Thibodeau is a defensive coach, right?
Mhm.
That can't be denied. So I'm not putting Frank as the starter for the very beginning of the year, but I think throughout the year he'll prove himself. I think that the starter next year is either going to be Elfrid Payton or Austin Rivers.
Yeah.
I don't know where you put them. I don't know if you have, because you're paying Elfrid Payton a good amount of money. You're paying Elfrid Payton like almost $9 million a year. I don't
So you
know if
got 2 years or 1 year?
He got 1 year.
You got 1 year. Okay.
Actually, maybe it was 5. I don't know. But for now, until we look into everything else, Austin Rivers, okay, he's our starting point guard, right?
Yeah.
Now we
I
got
think
so
he'll-
much. It sucks. We got so much depth, and I know it's something not to say. It sucks, but
Yeah.
there's some tough decisions to be made here.
You might
Right.
have guys like DSJ and
Yeah.
guys like Frank who maybe they develop, but hey, we'll see it in preseason. We'll see.
Yeah.
See how it works. But right now, because nothing has happened yet, I think Rivers.
Rivers, right? And we'll just get through the starters, and then we'll talk about the bench pieces.
Yeah.
I think it's inevitable that RJ is starting at shooting guard position. Okay.
They want to get this guy to develop now.
Right.
3rd overall pick. You kind of have to ramp it up now. Yeah, did nothing. Well,
Yep.
I guess he did nothing.
He didn't have a good shooting year.
Very inconsistent. Was hurt for like some of the year.
He got
But-
hurt. Yeah.
That's a big deal because the season was cut off, so
Yeah.
didn't see much.
I know he was averaging upwards of 18 points per game after All-Star break and after his injury.
Yeah.
So I think that he'll start out next season probably averaging 18, 19 points a game because we didn't add much offense to the team. I mean, we added Obi. I think Julius is going to have to take a step back regardless.
That's the thing. If he's
So-
going to average 18 or 19, you got to tell Randall, we want this guy to be the future, not you.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to take a step down. This is our number 1 scorer. You're number 2 for now. And then hopefully he starts to slowly go down that, and then we trade him.
This is where it gets complicated, right?
Mhm.
Small forward position.
Do we really have a
What do
small
we
forward
think?
besides Kevin Knox? Like position-wise, small forward.
I mean, looking through this,
I guess we have
Kevin
Michael
Knox,
Kidd-Gilchrist.
Alec Burks, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist,
I don't
not
know any of
really.
those guys starting.
Amari Spellman, but he's a power forward. So I don't know. I mean, maybe we reassess RJ Barrett. We say we start him at small forward because that means Opie's coming off the bench. Is your
I
8th
think
overall
Opie
pick
will
coming
come off the bench. I think he will.
All right, so you know what
I
we'll
truly
do?
think he will.
We'll have him as 6th man. Okay, so Obi.
Yes, I think that's fair.
Toppin. It just makes things less complicated. I personally want Obi to start, but having Randall on the team, you can't have your highest paid player, $21 million. You can't have him coming off the
No.
bench. You just can't.
Randall's not coming off the
It doesn't
bench.
happen like that. So, Obi is our 6th man here. Okay, RJ Barrett, we'll start him at small forward. Just it's an experiment. We'll see how things work out, and if they don't work out, they don't work out. It's whatever, right? We're gonna be trash anyway. We're projected like 21.
We're
wins by
not
the
winning
Vegas
over
odds.
30. We're winning like 23, 24.
You
Realistically.
you can't even blame the Vegas odds for betting against the Knicks. We've been bad.
I think we're
every
2
year.
years away from like competing for maybe an 8th seed.
We're always 2 years away. That's the painful part.
No, but I think we're actually 2 years away. If we keep this young core and they want to stay, the thing is, like, we were 2 years away with Kristaps. I want out. That just set us back 2 years. So,
I
and we
don't
got
think-
nothing for it. So it just set us back.
I mean, I didn't think Kristaps would want out, but I don't think any of these guys want out right now.
I hope not. But if they do, then that sets us back. But I'm anticipating this main 3 core of Opie, RJ, and Mitch to want to stay for the
Now,
long run.
I changed one thing. So if we're moving RJ Barrett to small forward, does that mean we switch Austin Rivers to his true position as a shooting guard?
Yeah, I think we do that. And then I think we make Payne the starter.
Okay.
Right now.
It's painful, but we got
Right now.
gotta do it.
This team is very bad right now.
it is not
But-
good. Yeah, I'll give you that
He was
much.
very bad.
So Alfred Payton will be our he'll be our starting
Point guard. Yes.
again. I know he started some games last year. He started a lot of games last year, but we had Frank get in there for a little bit of time and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. But obviously, we talked about it. Julius Randle. Julius
Gotta start.
Randle has to start.
3 years, 60 mil.
You
Gotta
can't.
start.
You
You
can't
can't
not
do
start
it.
him. You can't
You
pay a
have to
6
start
man
him.
that much money.
No.
No, this shouldn't
Sorry
be a
about the
discussion.
dog.
It's okay. This shouldn't be a discussion, but it is. Okay.
hmm
Is Tom Thibodeau gonna start Mitchell Robinson?
I think this is finally his year. They just have to start him.
Okay, so we'll just
Is it his
start
third
for
year?
now.
Yeah. You have to start
This
him.
is the step up year. This is the
This
year
dude
that Donovan Mitchell, Ben Simmons, all those dudes, when they took the step up, even Lonzo, he's going to his 4th year. His 3rd year last year was very promising past All-Star break. I'm talking about he played good. He was averaging for a stretch, and then the NBA shut down. He was averaging like 28 and 6. Like, that's an All-Star caliber play right there.
hmm
So, who's our 7th man off the bench here? Yeah, we got a lot of depth on the team.
I think they're gonna put Frank.
Frank. Yeah,
Frank's
that's
coming off the
reasonable.
bench, and this is going to be a starting five off the bench, like
Ntilikina, I think
the
it is.
5 core off the bench.
Right.
I
Eighth
think we
man.
paid Noel. He's going to be in there.
There's Noel.
Who
Ninth
else?
man. I know Tom Thibodeau wants to play a 9-man rotation, but we just got too much depth for that.
Hopefully,
I-
I want to see quickly get started at the 2 off the bench. Or he's not starting, but just come off the bench.
That's a
in
lot
the
to
2.
ask. I mean, we drafted
First round
drafted
pick.
dudes like Miles Powell. I think he'll be in the G League next year. I think he'll be our
Yeah,
Ignis
I don't
Brazdeikis, but I think he's got potential. I won't lie.
Yeah, I don't
He's
see
got
him
potential.
getting any minutes next year. I hope if he plays like that, maybe, but I don't see him getting any
I
minutes.
know Amari Spellman was kind of nice last year.
Oh, he might
So do
be
you
in
slide
the-
him into the rotation? You got Reggie Bullock. Do you slide him in the rotation?
No,
Do you play?
no.
That's a
Reggie
question though,
Bullock.
because he played pretty good for the Knicks last year. He wasn't terrible. I know he came into the games, he shot some threes, and he didn't miss a lot. I know he shot a decent percentage, but what else can he
think-
give you?
Yeah, but I want to see. I think we need, if we want to be young, we can't be playing these serviceable guys over the young guys.
It's
I
true.
think you try at first, you try the young guys. I know that never happens. I feel like you always end up going to the old guys or the new guys at the end of the year. But I think this Knicks team should stay at the young to start
Yeah.
the year.
And that
See
kind of
if they play terrible, yeah, just put in the serviceable guys. But
there's
I
one
think-
thing I forgot
right.
about Zach, and I have to interrupt you for this.
yes,
Kevin Knox.
I forgot about Kevin Knox.
What do we do about Kevin Knox? Do we give him a third chance?
He doesn't deserve it. Let's be real.
But do we give it to him?
You have to. I feel like if we're being the
Man.
Knicks, it depends. If it's us, no, of course not. It's
tough.
terrible. But it's the Knicks. Of course they're gonna give them this. Of course they are. It's the Knicks.
I think it's, we'll see injuries happen, right? We'll see
That's
someone
true.
get injured, so someone will slide in here, there, and everywhere. I don't know. But I think a safe prediction is that Amari Spellman is our 9th man, and I think Kevin Knox fits in at 10. I don't think Emmanuel quickly will get minutes unless there's an injury.
Yeah.
I want him to.
I wish.
He might
but-
come in as the 11th man if someone isn't playing well.
Yeah.
Like if Randall isn't playing well, maybe you move Obi to the 4, and hypothetically, if Randall isn't playing well, someone else got to be playing like trash. So you move quickly, and I don't know. We'll find a way.
Hopefully.
But
You see the young guys when they come up. I feel like he'll, like I said, Tyler Hero.
yeah. But Tyler Hero didn't get a lot of chances during the year, during
He
the
didn't.
season.
He played like 15 minutes. But
So-
once he got minutes in the playoffs, like they should have, he performed. Guys got hurt. Dragic got hurt. They slipped him in a starting point guard. He helped.
Yeah.
And he might have not been a scorer when he was a point guard, but he facilitated, and that was his job.
I think this team is going to be bad next year.
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
really bad.
You look at Alfred
We're just
Payton.
looking at the starters.
Listing off what we've put down. Alfred Payton, Austin Rivers at the 2, RJ at the 3, Julius at the 4, Mitch at the 5. Obi coming off the bench, Frank, Nerlens Noel, Amari Spellman, and Kevin Knox.
That's some Knicks. Let's go Knicks.
Sheesh! I mean, we don't even have DSJ getting minutes. Like, what do we do about that? Sheesh.
No,
And Alec Burks,
he
we signed
doesn't
him to a
deserve-
decent
like-
contract. Theo Pinson,
I think we're just gonna have to rely on guys not playing well, and then
that's true.
him filling in some minutes.
Slide him in.
Or we just completely take the bench and we say, you're getting half, you're getting half. Like, I don't know. There's just a lot of mediocre, serviceable guys.
Yeah.
I keep saying serviceable because they are.
They are, but they're not. They're not anything special,
No, that's the point.
Okay.
That's why you can give those guys some minutes, like DSJ.
Right.
But like I said, preseason, we'll see what happens.
Now, let's just move on. Very early season predictions. Right. Let's pull up a list of last year. So let's just look at the Eastern Conference. Right. Eastern Conference NBA teams. Right. Just so we can list them off easier. So, the East last year looked like Milwaukee 1, Toronto 2, Boston, Indiana, Miami, Philly, Brooklyn, Orlando. Then out of the playoffs, Hornets, Wizards, Bulls, Knicks, Pistons, Hawks, Cavs. East got more competitive this year because now Russell Westbrook's in the East. Kevin Durant's
think
healthy.
that, yeah.
Kyrie Irving should be healthy, but He's not always reliable with that. Now, the question is, who's going to be the best team in the East?
Hmm.
You got an opinion on that, Zach?
So I think the Bucks. I think they'll still be. I think they might. I think they're still going to compete for the 1 seed. I was going to say Nets, but I still think they might be a better team. I think the Nets will fight both of them. If the Nets stay healthy with Kyrie and KD, well, if they're hurt, then yeah, they're going to be a 4 or 5 seed. But if they stay healthy, I think they'll compete for the 1 and 2 seed.
Yeah.
Toronto's still going to be good. Boston's still going to be good. I think that those four are going to be the top four. I don't know what order. Just those guys are going to be the four. I think the Heat might be the 5. Pacers are still good. All these teams are still good. So I
Yeah.
don't want to take any of them out. Like the Magic can flip with the Wizards. Charlotte might compete.
That's
I
true.
feel like the top of the East will stay the same. I don't know what order, but will stay. And the like bottom feeders were the Hornets, the Magic, the Wizards. They're all going to compete for that 8 seed.
So I'm
And the
really,
Knicks just gonna
yeah.
not even they're just gonna get beat up.
I'm gonna go out on a wing here.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm gonna say the Bucks will still be the best team in the league, in my
Yeah,
opinion. Okay, they
I
got
agree.
Giannis. No one stops Giannis. Not on a nightly
League
basis.
or Eastern Conference?
League.
Okay.
At the Eastern Conference, they'll be at the top. I think the Raptors are gonna fall significantly. They lost Serge Ibaka. Okay, he was a
Right.
big guy on their team. People underestimate how important guys like that are, even for the locker room. Kyle Lowry's getting older. Pascal has a lot to prove for the contract he signed, especially after how he played in the bubble in the playoffs, because that was horrendous. Celtics, that's a question. They lost Hayward. He gave them like 16 a game, and Kemba's out till January plus.
Yeah.
He got a knee injury.
They got all the young guys that can fill his spot. They had Grant, Williams, they had Langford. They got guys to fill his spot, so
I think the Heat.
and they don't have to pay him, so that's nice. But Hayward's still a good player. I
Yeah.
think the team will be fine losing Hayward.
I think the Pacers are gonna fall off big time.
Why?
Honestly, I know Oladipo isn't necessarily. I know he wasn't super happy in Indiana.
Mhm. He didn't do anything. He was hurt, right, last year?
He played a lot of last year though.
Okay.
And I know there was rumors about a trade request or something. So being a disgruntled star in Indiana is not the move you want. You know,
That's true.
Sabonis. I don't think Sabonis alone can carry them to the playoffs. I know that proved what happened last year. Kind of proves my point wrong. That Sabonis and Miles Turner, but I think Miles Turner's getting traded. Okay,
Okay.
I don't think he'll be on the team at the All-Star break next year. I think the Heat are legit. Tyler Hero's
Yeah.
finally getting his minutes, finally getting his respect. Bam is going to progress. Jimmy's probably going to stay about the same. They got dudes like Goran Dragic that they re-signed. Hopefully Kendrick Nunn has a good year next year. They got a lot of upside on them.
That chemistry in that team is impeccable. It's great.
Yeah.
They're very happy to be. Jimmy Butler finally happy
Yeah.
with it, with
That's big.
Hero, with Bam. That team's just great. I think they're still going to be a great team. They might be higher.
Yeah.
76ers is always they're finally getting shooters.
100%.
So we'll see how that goes. Ben Simmons is always hurt, so that just kills
Yeah,
him.
that's tough. So is Joel.
Joel, there's like trade rumors, but I think he'll stay. He's happy for some reason. But yeah, that team will still be a good team. And the Nets are always a wild card, like I was saying with the injuries.
Now,
So they can stay healthy.
I think, we just talked about the Sixers and their shooting.
Mhm.
I've seen this a lot. Are they contenders or pretenders, right? Because are they going to make it again? Are they going to make the playoff? Because 6th seed for the team that they had 4 max deals. Ben Simmons, Embiid, Tobias, Horford. They traded Horford, which was honestly a great move in my opinion. Great move for both
They didn't
teams.
need him.
Because OKC is going to be rebuilding for the amount of time it takes for Horford's deal to expire, and they got picks in return. So it was a good overall deal for both teams because they got off of Al Horford, who is regressing severely. I was so confused when they signed a 33-year-old dude who, honestly, it doesn't rely off his athleticism, but clearly looks like he's regressed to like a max deal. Just didn't make sense. Just like the Gordon Hayward signing. Doesn't make sense. But it happened. I'll watch it.
Yeah, I don't get the Gordon Hayward deal at all.
The Magic won't make the playoffs next year. Okay.
You don't think?
They lost Jonathan Isaac again. Markel
Oh,
Fultz.
yeah, the ACL tear. Completely
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Cole Anthony is not going to lead you to the playoffs. I am sorry, Orlando fans. It's not happening.
Yeah, I forgot about Isaac.
Yeah.
They're going to fall.
Yeah,
You're
no,
right.
they're definitely falling. Actually, he didn't even play most of the season last year, but this year he's
Vucevic
out
is
for the
not
whole
gonna
season.
carry.
Vucevic, he may even get traded to like someone like the Mavs. They could use a center. They could make a trade. Hornets, I think, will slide in there. I don't know about the Wizards. I don't really trust a 32-year-old Russell Westbrook to stay healthy.
That could be
Especially
injuries
because-
always possible. That could affect. I don't know. Beal can't do it himself. I don't think.
Beal led them to 25 wins last year.
Yeah.
I mean, Denny's a big addition. You have to rely on
Denny's
Rui.
great. Denny might be. If they start Denny, yeah. You think they'll start Denny?
That's a good question. I think they won't. I think you're going to slide Rui to the 3. Because you
Okay.
just paid Davis Bertans $80 million. You can't
Bertans, that's
have
a good
him
piece,
coming
yeah.
off the bench.
That's
So it's
true.
gotta be Westbrook, Beal, Hachimura, Bertans, and Thomas Bryant. That's a
That's a
decent team.
good core.
It's a decent team
I
with
think
Denny off
that's
the
an
bench.
8 seed potentially.
Yeah, probably over the Hornets. I mean, they got some developing to do.
Hornets.
It's just
yeah,
a shame
I
that
don't
Gordon
know.
Hayward, if this was 4 years ago and they signed into this deal, they're like, okay, the Hornets going to make the playoffs in the next 2 years, right? Because you got a 28-year-old healthy Gordon Hayward, assuming, and you got a 22-year-old LaMelo Ball. Like, that's playoffs. But right now,
Well,
that's not what it
20
is.
Melo Ball's younger than that.
No, I know, but I was talking about 2 years out. So right
Oh
now,
yeah,
he's like
yeah.
19.
You're right. My bad.
But I think in 2 years out, they'll probably make the playoffs. I mean, they got Vernon Carey Jr. as well. They got P.J. Washington still. They got a legit core. Devontae Graham. I don't know how the Devontae Graham, LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier thing works out.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be confusing. You're going to be paying Terry Rozier $20 million a year to come off your bench because you're not benching LaMelo.
No,
I'll tell you that much.
nor Devontae Graham.
The Bulls. I really like the Bulls. I think that the Patrick Williams pick, is that his name, Patrick Williams?
Yeah, his name's Patrick. Yeah,
I think that was really stupid for the 4th overall pick. Prove me wrong.
I think they
but
should have traded down.
I think
Yeah,
that was dumb. I
They
think
could have
you
gotten
traded,
something.
You could have even traded down to 8 with the Knicks. The Knicks could have thought that they were going to draft Obi. And the
Yeah.
Knicks could have said, okay, you know what? Fine. We'll give you next year's pick and this year's pick, and we'll get Obi.
and
they
they would
didn't
have
do
gotten
that.
a top 10 pick. Yeah,
Next year. Yeah, but they didn't do that. They messed
I
up.
don't know what they're doing.
So the Chicago Bulls, look at what? Kobe White, Ryan Arcidiacono, Zach LaVine, Denzel Valentine. It's a weird team. I mean,
Who's this, Wendell Carter or
Wendell Carter
is that his
Jr.
name?
No, he's
Yeah.
legit. Yeah, he's legit. And now they just drafted this Patrick Williams dude who also plays power forward like Wendell Carter. So are you
dude
gonna
came
play?
off the bench in college? That's just that scares me.
He's not a scorer. He's apparently a Draymond Green defender. That type of thing. But would you have picked Draymond Green at 4 if you had Amari Stoudemire at 4?
Mm-hmm.
It's a question you got to ask, honestly.
Yeah, that was very debatable.
The Knicks, we already covered them. They're going to be probably one of the worst teams in the league next year.
Yeah,
The
top 3
Pistons-
worst. if
Pistons
I
are going to be
guess.
the worst. I don't think you can get worse than the Pistons. They
Yeah, can we talk about that free agency? What were they thinking?
Oh, you talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it. That was-
They just brought in like 10 power forwards.
oh, yeah. It's what we did last year. And obviously, we were trash.
It worked.
So,
No, I'm kidding.
Taj Gibson.
Taj Gibson, Bobby Portis,
Yikes.
Randall.
Bucks got a good one. Bobby Portis.
God,
He's with the Bucks now. You know that?
no. Where's
That's not the best decision.
What's it? Where's Gibson? Taj Gibson.
Not signed. He's
Yeah,
done.
makes sense.
You may retire, honestly.
That makes sense.
That's it.
You don't need Taj Gibson.
Um,
Hawks are gonna be good.
Hawks are legit.
Forgot about the Hawks.
Well, you don't know. Do you fit them in somewhere? I don't know.
They could be 10. They could be in the 9-8. They could fight too with those teams. Fight with the Wizards.
Is Bogdanovich? Which one? It's the
It's the
second
young
on
one
Kings
from
right?
yeah. It's the young one.
Okay, it's so confusing. There's like 3.
Yeah, there's like 3
Pacers,
Bogdanoviches.
something else, and then the newly added Hawks one. But they were bad last year, very bad.
They were bad last year, but they filled in a lot of holes.
Now you
Did
got
any of them
Clint.
have injuries? I don't think anybody had
Clint
injuries.
Capella got traded at the
He was
deadline,
new.
but he didn't even
Yeah.
play. He didn't play.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is his first year with the Hawks coming up. John Collins hopefully has a good year. He's asking for a max contract though. So
Did he put up any numbers? Like he's a
yeah,
good
no,
young
he's good. I
asset.
think it was
but
like it might have been 20 and 10.
that's pretty good.
You know, he was legit.
He should
Kinda
be getting the
looking
Randall money.
into them more. They got Chris Dunn on the roster now. That's good. No,
Yeah.
seriously, for defense, Trae Young is not a defender. We knew that. Now you got a point guard coming in off the bench. If you need defense at the end of the game, put him at shooting guard, put him on the point guard, and you got a defender. Okinkwe Okongwu, right?
Oh yeah, they drafted him.
He's
sixth.
legit. He's legit. Tony Snell they
center.
signed. That was just horrible.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just roster fills.
Bogdanovich. But that's a big contract.
It's a big contract, but it's a good piece for in that forward role.
Oh,
I think he'll
Rondo
play
is
the
on there.
three.
Rondo.
Oh yeah, great facilitator. Facilitate to him off the bench. Okongwu, if you probably what's his name? Rondo will come off the bench, but
Yeah, 100%.
he'll be a good facilitator. He was great for the Lakers, for what they
Yeah.
need him to be.
I think the
But-
Hawks have to make a trade.
For
Someone.
oh,
you
and they got Gallo.
Yeah, I
you say
know.
that?
That's the thing. If you got John Collins asking for a max, maybe you could be legit and package him for a good player. Like, there's got to be a disgruntled power forward somewhere, right? Is there? I mean,
I don't know if they. I wouldn't do that. I keep
mean,
telling.
is it worth having a Okongwu coming off the bench is nice, but you got a lot of depth that you don't need.
A lot of depth. But what would you use it for? Would you like me a
A
shooting guard?
superstar that you want to put next to Trae Young, a defender. Maybe an Oladipo. Maybe you trade Bogdanovich
I wouldn't
for
call
Oladipo.
Oladipo a superstar.
Sure, but a defending superstar.
Yeah.
Best defender in the league, one of them at least.
Unless they want to get they drafted DeAndre Hunter. They want him to be good.
Oh, right. I
Cam
forgot about him.
Reddish,
See,
if they
that's
want
even
him
more
to be
depth.
good.
More depth.
Yeah,
It's
they
just
got a
like
lot of
can-
depth.
But do you play them?
We'll see.
It's like the
What if
Knicks.
it works? If it works, it works.
It works. You're right.
Like if you have good players on the court the whole game, if it works, like really good, like solid players.
They
Like
even
all
got,
those guys would be starters on the Knicks.
It's true.
Yeah.
Kevin Herter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
they got some
solid.
good
He's a solid
players.
piece.
Sheesh. Even Brandon Goodwin. He's not that good, but he's like legit enough. He's a rotational guy.
hmm
But then let's look deeper into the other rosters, right? Let's not get too focused on the Hawks.
Yeah, we're very.
The Cavs. Not much to say. They didn't do anything, right? I mean,
They're not going to be anything.
They're just gonna suck.
They'll be next to us.
Look at their roster. Yeah, no, it's bad. I mean, they took Damian Dotson away from us. Not that we need him.
They still got Kevin Love, right? They didn't trade him.
Now they got Kevin Love still.
They'll probably trade him. So that might give them
Yeah,
more.
Kevin Love. He's made
Maybe
a lot
some
of money.
picks. Make them better.
Houston should still make a move on Kevin Love, honestly. Put him next to
That would
Boogie.
be an interesting fit.
Be a veteran team.
That would stack up the starters.
I mean, you still got Andre
Oh,
Drummond
they
on that
brought
team.
in McGee.
Yeah, that was a great trade for them. They got a pick
Oh
out
man,
of
they
it.
got. Yeah, they're not great, but they're not. They're better than us. Let's be real.
They got some good youth. Colin Sexton, Kevin Porter, Isaac Okoro. They drafted him. Right. He's got a lot of upside. Auburn, right? Defender.
You know,
Good dude. Yeah, he's nice.
Garland's solid. We'll see if he'll be solid.
Again, not a
Larry
lot.
Nance.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did last year, but
Not a lot to say about dudes like that, honestly.
Kevin Porter they drafted.
All right. So now that we've kind of looked over all the teams, I'm listing them just in my 8th seed, okay? And there's going to be players and teams that are left out that are legit, but I have to do it because not everyone can make the playoffs. It's just a
Only
fact.
8.
Bucks, okay, they're a lock. I think they're 1 or 2 seed. I don't think they're falling past 3. I think that the Nets are going to be a 2 seed. I think hopefully Kevin Durant comes out healthy, and they got depth. They got Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, Kyrie. They're good. Like they're really good.
Yeah.
So they're 2 seed. Okay. I know every year I kind of predict it this way, but now that they got legit shooters, Danny Green, Seth Curry,
Oh, and the Sixers, top floor?
Philly 3 seed.
Oh, 3 seed.
Yeah, I don't know. Philly 3 seed. I got the
That's
Heat
bold.
coming in at 4. I think it could really go anyway. It could go in between with Heat and Sixers. I think that's going to be a big matchup next year. Celtics fall to 5. I'm sorry, Kemba got hurt. You don't know what's going to happen. If you put all the pressure on Jason Tatum, you actually haven't seen that before, right?
That's
He's
true.
always had Kyrie. He's always had Kemba. Depends. We'll see what happens without the point guard. I think that this is so tough. 5,
Probably 5. We got
6.
Pacers up
I
there
guess you put the
still.
Pacers. You put the Pacers at 6.
Still got the Raptors.
Oh my God! Never mind. Put the Raptors at 6.
Okay.
Raptors at 6. I should be writing this down, quite frankly.
Yeah. Wait, did you say Pacers
Right.
5?
Pacers at. Let me
So you
just
said
do it.
Milwaukee. Yeah. You said
Bucks,
Milwaukee, Nets. You said
Nets,
Sixers.
Sixers, Heat.
Then you
No,
said
yeah, Heat.
you said Heat.
And,
Then you said Pacers, but did you want to
putting
change
the
that
Raptors
with the
there.
Raptors? Yeah. At 5?
Raptors, Pacers.
Yeah. Then you got
2
7,
more. I'm gonna throw the Wizards at the 7 seed. I think that's
Okay.
fair. And I don't think Vucevic leads. I mean, they were 7 games under 500 last year. The Magic, they were trash. I mean,
Hey,
they
that's
just
how
got
the
lucky.
East works.
They
It's
got
how-
lucky.
But I think it's getting better, the East.
I'll give it to the Hawks.
I think the Hawks, yeah.
I think the Hornets are a year away. I'm sorry, Hawks. I'm gonna put this up on the stream. So, okay. So let's hop into the Western Conference.
Mm-hmm.
I think we kind of know all we need to know about the Western Conference. Here. Here we go. Okay, so the West, I'm putting Lakers 1. That's unrivaled in
You
my
can't
opinion.
change it. Yeah, they're not moving.
The Rockets are gonna fall big. Thunder are gonna fall big. Portland may go up. Memphis may go up. Phoenix. Oh, this is tough. The Warriors are back in the picture. The Pelicans are in the picture. Timberwolves are even in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot to talk about here, Zach.
Yeah, I think we see a lot of teams fall here.
Right.
Like you said, some of them are still good. The Rockets might fall. Like you said, the Portland we'll see. Definitely the wait. Oh yeah, I was gonna say the Thunder. I didn't see them for some reason.
Yep.
I think Phoenix jumps in. I think they'll be late in the playoffs. I think they'll be like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't know about the Warriors because I don't know if they're gonna be healthy. Are they gonna be healthy? We don't know.
Honestly, slide the Warriors to the 8th seed, to be honest with you. You can call me crazy,
If
but
they're healthy,
if they're healthy.
because I feel like if Curry's not there, nothing's happening.
No, they're going to be a bad team again.
So if Curry
All
wasn't healthy
relying on
last year,
Steph.
is he gonna have like a little freaking accident with his hand, like he did last time, or
Could be.
something more severe? We'll see. So that team, that's why it's a toss-up for me with the Warriors. I don't know about the 76ers. D'Lo is good,
It's
but
tough.
you don't know.
You mean
Grizzlies.
the Timberwolves?
Yeah, I don't know about the Timberwolves.
Grizzlies.
Pelicans could be good. Again, injuries. Injuries are huge, so I don't know. It's because I feel like they don't have enough depth. So if those stars get hurt, same with the Warriors last year, they didn't have enough depth. So when those guys got hurt, they were screwed.
That's true.
So, but if they do, we can have different ones for like in a perfect world, and then not in a perfect world. In a perfect world, the Warriors are going to be like a 7 seed.
In a perfect world, it goes Lakers, Clippers, probably. It's
I
really
stick with the
tough. That's
Nuggets.
a toss-up. Yeah, Nuggets. That's
I
fair.
stick with the Nuggets.
So you go Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, right? Can we call that not a lock, but can we call that legit for now?
Yeah, I think that's a lock, no matter what happens.
I think Luka's going to be a big deal this year, but without Porzingis, what are they? Because you got Luka, and then you got, if no Porzingis, you got Luka and then Tim Hardaway. I mean, that's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I call it playoffs. I just don't call it high seed.
No, I don't think they'll be high seed.
I think
Maybe six
Rockets
or
are going to
seven in
drop,
that.
potentially even out of the playoffs this year.
You
I don't know.
think they got Harden? Well, Harden is Harden. Depends if they trade him. That can always change.
Hmm.
But I'm sticking to the team they have now. Boogie's probably gonna get hurt. It's inevitable. John Wall, he's been injury prone. He might, so it might just be Harden. So they might fall.
What do you do
I
about the
think they'll be in that
Pelicans?
toss-up area.
What do
The
you do?
Pels,
Yeah.
I feel like all those teams are like 7 and 8, like 7, 8 seed, like bottom.
Gotta,
But they're
gotta
gonna.
push one up.
Some teams gotta go up. So
Suns are legit. Got Chris
Suns
Paul
are
now.
legit.
They just needed that point guard.
They're
DeAndre
young. Yeah.
Ayton's gonna keep getting better. That's
hmm
serious.
Booker's gonna stay as good.
You know what? This
We'll
is.
see if Cam Johnson,
Hmm.
the
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
shocker pick in the
They
draft.
made another bad draft decision this year. I don't
No,
know who they
I thought
picked.
he was pretty good.
Who'd they take though?
They took that power forward.
Yeah, just too
Forgot
high.
who it
Though.
was.
It's always too
You
high.
think?
They always pick the guy. They should have traded down by 5. They would have got him. Got some
Maybe.
assets too.
That's true.
Dario Saric, they re-signed him, right? I'm gonna give because this honestly, I mean, this is tough. I think just I'm gonna wing it. The Jazz are still good. They
Jazz
got
are still
Gobert.
good.
I'm
They might slip up to that 4.
giving it to the Jazz.
I agree.
Can't hurt. Um,
Maybe the Mavericks do make the jump at 5.
yeah, you know what? We'll give it to the Mavs.
If Luka can get better than he already is,
He is really good right now.
but Porzingis is hurt, so
Maybe drop him to 6. We'll talk about it as we
yeah,
go.
we'll,
but
we'll figure it out.
I don't know. Chris Paul Suns. We thought the Thunder were gonna be trash last year. Then they had a Chris
Yeah.
Paul, and they were serious.
Chris Paul was the whole.
You know what? I'm moving the Suns before the Mavs because they got
That's
Devin
fair.
Booker. I mean, Devin Booker's really good. He always needed that second guy, and he got him. He got 2 guys. He got DeAndre Ayton, and he got
him.
Chris Paul.
Yeah.
That's serious. That's a serious team.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll give it to the Suns, assuming Chris Paul has another injury-free season. Assuming and hoping he does. We'll see. Do you give anything to Memphis?
They're getting better. They're still young. They got a lot of young assets that can get better.
This sucks. The Pelicans, the Blazers,
The West is
the
always stacked.
Warriors are still there.
At least we know the Spurs will fall in that, so we won't have to look at them.
We're gonna probably miss the Rockets from the playoffs. Pelicans maybe.
That's crazy that we're saying a guy that averages 36 points a game
Won't make the playoffs.
might not make the playoffs.
All right. You know what? Out of fairness, I'm gonna move the Mavs for now. I trust Luka to bring the team very decent record, but he's got to have help. I mean, you can't
He's
say
got none right
Porzingis.
now.
You can't say Porzingis is going to come back 100% when he gets back. This is his second serious knee surgery,
Mm-hmm.
so they really got to take into account his future with the team. Even can you trade him for? And this could call me crazy. I saw a video on it the other day. Totally hypothetical. Totally crazy. But do you trade him if Jokic gets disgruntled somehow? Do you trade him for someone like Jokic? Because that flip flop would be very intriguing. Depends. The Nuggets probably wouldn't do that unless
I would
something
never,
serious
yeah.
happens. But do you consider trading him somewhere? I don't know. Do you?
I think Jokic's got to break both his legs for that to even be.
Yeah,
considered.
that's a very
But
that's a good point.
I
That's a good
think
point. He's got
I
to be
was talking
paralyzed
to you
for that to
before.
happen.
Yeah, literally paralyzed from the waist down.
Yeah.
But I think Sabonis. I was talking to you before
Yeah,
about
you said Sabonis
Sabonis,
for Porzingis.
and you didn't agree.
I thought it was crazy then, but now it's starting to feel more realistic.
Because let's be real, Porzingis is the better player between Sabonis and him.
The injuries,
But
so you're right.
would you rather have a guy that you're paying less for now, paying less, and he'll be healthy, and I think give Luka a lot more help, can still shoot, be a great player. So Porzingis is better, more talent, but he gets hurt so much, and he's so young.
It's a good-
He's gotten hurt from the get-go. He's always been hurt. So I would do that. If the Pacers ever said, you want to do that, let's trade, flip them, I'd 100% do that.
It's a good
No doubt in my
question.
mind.
Really kind of, you got a lot to think about when it comes to that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you do it though? I don't know. Do you pull the trigger on something that serious so soon? You gave Porzingis a year. Should you give him another? Who knows?
Depends what he does this year. If he gets hurt again after this knee surgery,
It's kind of done for
What
him.
are you doing? You're paying him so much.
At that point, it's a Yao
What
Ming
are you
situation where there was so much potential, but he couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Couldn't. Okay.
I think it's fair. Yeah.
Let
I think
me
the
give
Mavericks.
Let me give the Warriors the benefit of the doubt over the Blazers. The Blazers are legit. They're good. They got Rocco, actually. I don't know. But
Sure about that?
the Warriors got Wiggins still, who is unproven again. Oubre, James Wiseman's a very good addition.
Oh, yeah. Kelly Oubre's good.
Will Draymond Green keep up? I hope so, but last year he looked more like a Draymond Green bum version. I don't know.
That's bold.
I don't know. What, Draymond Green?
No. Just putting the Warriors over.
The Blazers?
The Blazers, yeah.
I think I'm going to give it to the Blazers, though.
I think the Blazers will.
So we got 1 through 5 set, because I took away the Mavs right now. So do you just straight
I think
up...
the Mavs, I think it's fair to say the Mavs will fall. Out of all these teams, just because Porzingis is not there.
Okay,
And
so
Luka has no help.
here's what you do then. You say Suns, then you go Blazers, Warriors, Rockets. You just get the pain out of the way. It just happens.
Okay.
Now, the Pelicans did lose Drew Holiday. But they added Eric Bledsoe. And I don't know how that Lonzo Bledsoe fit's going to work. They got to flip something. Okay? Because it can't work. It can't.
I think you put Bledsoe at the 2 if you're going to start him.
Yeah, but he's like 6'1".
Or you bring him off the bench. Then bring him off the bench.
$20 million a year off the bench?
Do you want to win?
Do you want to make a trade? I think is the better question.
Or you make a trade?
What if you
But
trade?
I don't see you making it. I don't see him making a trade or like extremely early in the year.
Yeah,
Maybe
you're right.
trade deadline, but
I heard they wanted to play them next to each other. If Lonzo's at the 2, you got a big problem.
that's a problem. That's not Lonzo. That's not Lonzo's game at all.
No. He's a passer.
He's a
He can't even
5.
shoot. Can't even shoot like that.
Can't shoot. He's like a 13, 6, and 6 dude.
Yeah.
You have to have him facilitating to Zion,
Yeah.
to those guys.
But it hurts because you're missing the Pelicans and the Timberwolves, which are still 2 young teams. Even the Grizzlies, you're missing them.
Grizzlies are
But
good.
they're just so many years away. You just got to bank on someone. And it's a bad thing to say, but you got to bank on someone on the Rockets getting hurt, on the Warriors, on the Blazers. If Dame is out for the rest of the season, if he gets severely hurt, they're out of the
Then
playoffs.
that brings in one of those.
Then
young
that brings
teams.
in like the Pelicans. If
There's
the
3
Warriors
young teams
lose,
there, and the Kings are a little far
Kings are far.
because
I
they
mean,
lost Bodon.
I heard Buddy
whatever.
Hield wanted out,
But yeah,
and
where
now
would he go?
that's something
Making
we
a
could
ton of
talk
money.
about. I don't know. The Knicks might want to make a move for him. The question is, do you want him?
But what would he play? The 2?
Yeah, we don't have a 2.
Well, we have RJ, unless you permanently move him to 3.
Well, what if you're trading Julius Randle? Make the salaries work.
Okay.
Probably have to throw in a pick.
So you're saying the young core would be whatever point guard, then you put Buddy, then you put RJ, and then Toppin
Yeah.
and Robinson. Might work. That would be interesting.
What's
that?
that?
Would be,
What's
that?
that?
would-
That website for the trade, the realistic trade site.
Oh, I'm not sure.
NBA trade machine, right? So I'm pretty sure it tests the legitimacy of the trades, right? So add 1 team, the Knicks, okay? Add team 2, the Kings, okay? So let's talk about Julius Randle goes to the Kings, okay? And let's talk about Buddy Hield going over to the Knicks.
Sorry about the dog.
No, that's no
If
problem.
you can hear it in the back.
That's fine. That's fine. Now, you can't really do a lot. You don't have a lot of moving room here. Obviously, Julius Randle is the worst player, and he's on a better deal because if they don't want Buddy on the Kings, then they don't want 5 years of his deal. So how about you take Julius Randle? We'd probably, honestly, have to give up Frank or DSJ to come up, back up De'Aaron Fox, right?
Mhm.
So let's give up Frank. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Let's just give him up.
We got so much depth. So that's fine.
I know. And then you give us back your worst player. Give us back Kyle Guy, just so it works. Right?
Mhm.
Now, I don't know how to add picks. But let's just hypothetically say we added a first round pick in like 2024. Is that a trade that we think we could do? Like, let's try the trade. Trade failed. Apparently, okay. That looks complicated. Oh, wow. Okay, so here's the problem. I think there could probably be a trade exception, right? But we'd have to take on probably a bigger contract. So we get rid of Kyle Guy, and you're gonna have to give us a bigger deal. They don't really have a lot of big deals on the roster. I mean, maybe you give us Corey Joseph. We take Corey Joseph. Are you muted, Zach?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think. Yeah.
Corey Joseph. Do you think they like? Do you think they like You think they like what's his name? Jabari Parker? Or do you think they trade him for salaries to work?
We don't really need for salary purposes. We have to, but we don't really.
Well, we don't want him, but the
Yeah, we
question is the
wouldn't.
Kings want
Then
him.
maybe we'll flip them.
So we trade this, and then just to make, let's see, I think this works. This trade's successful. Now, you look into this. We're getting Corey Joseph, Jabari Parker, and Buddy Hield, who is who we want, right? We're acquiring him. And they're acquiring Julius Randle and Frank Ntilikina. And obviously we throw in picks, but that looks like the overall trade for right now. It looks like the analysis is that I think the Knicks here would stay the same. It looks like because there's no change here. But it looks like there'd be -2 wins to the Kings. And that's what they'd have to take. If you don't want Buddy Hield's contract, if he doesn't want to be there, you have to make the trade. So you got that going on. I think that's a realistic enough Julius Randle trade. I don't know what else we're going to do. If we start it over, right? Let's add the Knicks again. And who do we want to trade, right? Out of purely hypothetical thought here. I don't know. I feel like that's the only trade we'll make. I don't think we trade anything else. I think that's about it. But let's just move on. Kind of our last segment of the podcast here. We're about an hour and 18 minutes in right now.
Yeah.
You got award predictions. I'll start off. So it looks like it's kind of looking to the NBA players. So if we're talking about MVP, if the Mavs aren't going to make the playoffs, I can't give Luka MVP. I would, but I can't. But I would give him MVP if they did. That's a hypothetical. And otherwise, do you have anything to add about the MVP? I don't know who I'm going to give it to. I got to think.
It's very early.
It's so early. You can't.
I don't know. We can't really make a. Maybe Luca if he's just by himself and just gets to stat pad the crap out of his yeah. But it's way too early.
The safe
We're gonna have
guess.
to watch some basketball.
Safe guess is Giannis, but
That's always safe. Yeah, it might just be Giannis. You never know. Maybe Trae Young. Maybe Kevin Durant. Maybe.
You never
Just
know.
throw in some. Like,
Throw it out there. You know what? We'll
I'd
look
say
back
a dark
at this.
horse is fair to say Trae Young is a dark horse for MVP.
MVP.
Just because of how many superstars are in the NBA.
So the dark horse is Trae Young. Okay.
Yeah.
Now who do we think could win it? Like runner-ups.
Runner-ups?
Yeah.
I think KD could be a runner-up. LeBron. You always have to throw LeBron.
Right.
He's LeBron James. Anthony
maybe.
Davis.
Yeah. AD. Giannis. Curry maybe if he plays
if he's
out
healthy,
of his mind.
He's got. Hey, he has that ability.
Curry.
There's nobody around him anymore.
So we'll just give it that. I don't want to extend the list too far because then we're
we'll
gonna
leave it
get it
there.
right at the runner-ups.
Yeah.
So, okay. Rookie of the year. Who do you give that to?
A lot of guys that could win it. Maybe Wiseman because no Clay, so maybe he'll step up.
Okay.
Maybe LaMelo, if they just give him the keys to the team, then maybe. Opie's not even. Maybe he'll be a second team. I don't even think he'll be a first team, based off whatever minutes he gets. He'll probably be off the bench.
Yeah.
So, as a Knicks fan, I don't think Opie has a shot.
So, okay. Who is just your bold prediction?
Bold?
Yeah.
So you're saying
Yeah, just if you had to take one.
if I had to take one right
One
now.
guy.
I'd say Wiseman.
Okay.
I
Wiseman.
think that's the safest
Now,
pick.
the
Because
reason...
Edwards won one. I didn't even name him, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Edwards is still, even though he was the first overall pick. I don't know how good he'll be
He gives
in
me
the NBA.
Markel Fultz vibes.
He gives me Markel Fultz vibes, and he gives me like vibes of a guy that won't perform in the NBA, but had an amazing college by himself. But once he steps in, I don't know if he'll do anything.
Right. You never know.
Never know.
Now, I have a different prediction. I think it's going to LaMelo.
Okay.
I think LaMelo outperformed what I thought he would do, and in
Can
the
never go wrong.
overseas, right?
That's it.
It's just two top 3 picks that we think could legitimately perform. Now, if you want to talk about most improved player, right? Who do we give that to? I have a very good player in mind for myself. I don't know about you though. What do
No,
you think?
we on the Knicks podcast. RJ Barrett. We're on the Knicks
Okay.
podcast. If he can
Good to see
perform,
you.
RJ Barrett.
All right, understandable. That's fair. I am not going to be anywhat biased here. Rui Hachimura. Give it to him.
Okay, that's fair.
He gives me serious Kawhi vibes, dude. Like, call me crazy if you wish, but if you just take a look at his gameplay, he's a mid-range shooter. He's a decent defender. His dribbling skills are damn near Kawhi. Rui Hachimura. Highlights. I'm just going to put him up for anyone watching. If you weren't sure who Rui is, but I don't really think we have a lot of viewers at the moment. So, I don't know. He gives me serious Kawhi vibes. I don't know what it is. I just like the way he plays.
Mhm. He's a good player.
I've been totally stupid this whole time. There it is. I'm just going to put up the stuff on the screen here. So, I'm giving it to Rui. I think it's just a safe decision. Not necessarily safe. It's just what I want to do. We still got to give Coach of the Year and stuff like that. So, we got to do that.
Who
what's
won it last year? Was it the Bucks?
Frank
I don't
Vogel,
even
I
know.
think. Wait, no. Maybe it
Is
was
there-
Budenholzer.
Wait, there's only one, right?
Yeah.
I get confused with the sports with like baseball when there's 2 in each. There's only one. Okay. Probably him. Safe pick. Who are they? Maybe Doc Rivers. Maybe
Yeah, sure.
that
We'll
team
give it
will
to
be able
Doc
to
Rivers
shoot.
because they bring up. Yeah, sure. Doc Rivers. If they perform well, Doc Rivers definitely.
Yeah.
Sheesh, this is tough. Wait, what's the next one? What's the next one? Rookie of the Year, Most Improved Player, Coach of the
Go
Year,
6
MVP.
man.
Yeah, 6-man.
Who would be coming out? Like Lou Will wins it every year. Maybe
Montrez won
What's
it
his
last
name?
year, but he'll start.
Montrez
this year.
won it.
He'll start. This
Will
year.
he though? Because he's very good off the
Oh,
bench.
maybe he's off the bench. I don't know.
I don't think.
I'm not giving it to Montrez.
On them, I
though.
wouldn't start him. I think those guys might be finalists again, or like the third, or Lou Will wins it like or is a finalist every year.
Well, what sucks is we don't actually know who's going to come off the bench for a lot of these teams.
That's very true.
So
I think
it's
that's
a
a
hard
very-
decision to make. But I actually could see someone like Matisse Thybulle winning it. I don't think he starts for the Sixers, but if they're winning Coach of the Year, I genuinely don't see why he wouldn't win 6-man. If they perform well and he comes off the bench as the 6-man, which I think he could.
Yeah, if he
That's
gets like
legitimate.
25 plus minutes a game.
Actually, do you really give a rookie 6-man of the year and then you don't give him Rookie of the Year? Because I was thinking Denny, if he comes off the bench.
Denny.
It's a question.
I think you give him. Well, you'd give him both.
Sure.
I don't know if that would happen, but
You know what? How about this?
that's bold.
Let's revisit
I
this,
wouldn't even
okay?
bring
I'm
his
just gonna
name
keep
up.
it. I'm gonna keep it like this, okay? Right now, and unless you have a serious prediction to make, I'm just putting it as nothing for now because we don't even
Okay.
know who's gonna come off the bench, right? It's not fair. We
Yeah.
can't just say one guy is gonna outperform the other off the bench when we don't even know what the starting 5 is yet. So
Yeah.
we'll just put
Yeah,
that as
no,
nothing for now. And that's pretty much all their award predictions, right? Or am I totally missing
I
something?
think so. We got defensive, we got sixth, we got MVP, we got coach.
Perfect.
Most improved too. We got all 5.
Now, I would give my MVP dark horse somewhere else if we're
Okay.
going to make individual predictions.
Mhm.
So, here's what I'm doing. I think their chemistry is perfect. I think LeBron is going to take a step back. I think I'm going to give it
Okay.
to Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much that. The hype is building around him in the media.
I wouldn't even
Okay.
call that a dark horse, but you can. That can always
I don't
happen.
know. Well, they got LeBron. That's why it's a dark horse.
Oh, LeBron. Yeah, that's true, I guess.
All right, you know what? I'll give my dark horse elsewhere because that's my actual prediction.
You think
AD
LeBron's going to take a step down?
Yeah.
LeBron James, he's getting paid like $40 million a year
It
coming
doesn't.
up.
I don't
He's
know.
going to take a
He's
step
not going to
back.
get better.
He's not going to get better, but I don't think he's taking a step down.
Doesn't really much room to improve. I think AD should have honestly been higher up in the contention last year. Dude averaged almost 30 points a game. Oh my god. Give the man his award. Oh, defensive player of the year. We didn't even put that. Jesus. See, we almost missed
Oh,
it.
that was the last.
You even just said that.
Ow,
I just
I thought we got all 5.
DPOY.
I guess there's 6.
Okay. Who do you want for defensive player of the year?
That's always tough because it's like the same dudes. Who won it last year? I don't even. Oh, Giannis won both.
Yes. I
So
don't
it's
think
like,
he'll win both.
It's always that core guys. I don't think Giannis will win it again.
Yeah.
So any. I don't know. Maybe like a center like Gobert comes in, just wins it. Anybody. I think that's up for grabs every year. Doug gets a different dude every year.
You're not. You might like my prediction, and it may seem extremely biased, and that is understandable. But Mitch is the real freaking deal, bro.
I forgot about Mitch. Depends how he plays. He just fouls less and gets a lot. Has the ability to actually play in a game for 25 plus minutes a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's Mitchell Robinson.
Block party.
This
Never
is the 3rd year. You got to make some noise at some point, Mitch. Let's just make it now. Let's make you do it now.
Year 3, maybe.
Who are you giving it to?
I give it maybe Gobert. I'm just gonna
That's
like
safe.
I don't know.
That's smart.
Yeah, it's a safe pick. It's a boring pick, but I got no one else in mind.
Okay.
I think Mitch is a fun pick, maybe, but
Mitch is a fun pick. That's why I
Mine's
picked it. Just like you
realistic
picked RJ
yeah,
for most.
I picked RJ
It's
for
not
most improved.
necessarily
It's not gonna
the
happen.
best guess, but
No.
it's not terrible. You know.
But if RJ can shoot, maybe.
Maybe. Got a shot. He's got a legit
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
My dark horse for MVP. Is Curry kind of a dark
AD?
horse because they didn't make
I'd say he's a dark horse.
they didn't make the playoffs last year.
I think it's safe to say he's a dark horse.
Okay. And then we got runner-ups is like KD, LeBron. Actually, you know what? Durant. You take it.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant. That's my prediction. He's got a shot. And he's a dark horse because he just tore his freaking Achilles.
It's fair.
Yep. Okay. I think that kind of rounds out the podcast.
We did all of our. Yeah.
Covered everything. I think it was a successful first podcast. I enjoyed talking Knicks.
Yep. Same
But,
here. Yeah. We'll have one more to talk about once there's games. We
Oh,
can talk
big
about
time.
the games.
100%.
Talk about how we think we'll change our minutes. We can always keep like what our thoughts were.
Oh, 100%.
We'll build off it.
I'm just going to save this. 20.
Yeah, we could save all these, and I'm like,
20.
in 7 months we can just laugh at these
Yeah.
like we did last year.
I hope the KD thing isn't too far off because I don't want to be laughing at him being trash, you know. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I didn't even consider anyone like Devin Booker or anything. I could have, but I didn't.
I don't see Devin Booker winning awards.
I would never
honest.
rule out
I
something
still
like
think he's
MVP
so
for
far.
him. I would never rule it
MVP?
out. He's
That's
a 30
bold.
point per game dude. If they make
He's
the
a shooting guard
playoffs,
though.
sure.
Yeah, but shooting guards are just all like as him, he's just a scorer, and that's just going to affect his ability to win MVP. I guess Harden
James
won it.
Harden.
Well,
Yeah.
James Harden had like 9 assists.
That's true. Yeah, he was almost
So-
almost a triple double.
Yeah.
So pretty good. I think this was a productive podcast. We'll get a Instagram and a Twitter up at some point. We'll advertise more, but I think we covered everything we needed to for preseason. Okay. 'Cause
Yeah,
we don't
before
have much to
everything
talk
happened,
about
yeah.
yet.
We have not, yeah. We just have predictions to talk about.
Right. We got work to do on the actual talk. So
Yeah.
we'll get into that next podcast whenever that may be. Not going to make any scheduling yet because we don't know when the next one will be, but I think we did a good job today covering Knicks, covering NBA, and hopefully we're back at it sooner than later.
We will. I'm excited.
Alrighty.
Gotta keep going. That was a good one.
Yep. Bye, everybody.
See ya.